Good morning. It's BS with Becca, and it's not what you're thinking today. BS is buy stamps. Yes, buy stamps. I want you to buy US Postal Service stamps. And I'm going to start, well, there are two things. One is our current administration, which wants to sort of is thinking about November for some reason or another and wants to sort of suppress the turnout of people who might not vote the way they would like them to, is trying to close down the United States Postal Service, or that's what people say. And so I really want us, this is very patriotic. If you want to make sure you can vote in November, then we got to make sure the post office stays open. So a very positive and helpful and wonderfully patriotic thing that we can do is support our U.S. Postal Service. And in order to, and so the best way to do it is to buy stamps. So I'm going to give you some help on how to do that very soon. And another thing too is I kind of want to bring back the whole thing of writing letters. So I am promised that I'm going to start today. Hey, good morning, good afternoon. I am going to start writing one letter per day. And I know I'm not going to be able to do it 7 days a week. So maybe I'm going to try to do it 4 days a week. I'm going to write a regular postal letter and put a stamp on it and put it in my mailbox out by the street and make sure that the post person comes and gets it. My mail deliverer gets it. But what I want to tell are my good news for today, because I am always going to be bringing you some good news. So I want you to tell you this story about this lovely, it just happened on May the 2nd. It's a girl named Emerson Weber. And what she did was, she loves to write letters. So this is what I'm talking about. Look at these beautiful envelopes that she makes with all these lovely colors. And she writes to her friends. And she always includes artwork and jokes and talks about her little brother. And so, and she wrote a letter to her. One day she decided to write a letter to her mail carrier. So this is what she wrote. She wrote, "I'm Emerson. You may know me as the person that lives here that writes lots of letters with decorated the envelopes. Well, I wanted to thank you for taking my letters and delivering them. You are very important to me. I make people happy with my letters, but you do too. The reason you're very important in my life is because I don't have a phone. So how else am I supposed to stay in touch with my friends? You make it possible." She put it in the box and smiled when he took it, and that was enough. Now, the next day, she got a letter back. In fact, 2 letters. Doug, her mail carrier, had shared her letter with his boss at the post office, and she was so pleased with it, she asked if she could please share it throughout the U.S. Postal Service's internal mail service. I guess it's like email kind of thing inside the thing. And then they wrote a letter to Emerson's parents. It says, "When your daughter wrote the letter to her letter carrier, he showed the letter to me and asked if I could respond in a way. I did. I wrote her back, and then I also put her story on an inner U.S. Postal Service newsletter. It gained nationwide attention. And then 2 days later, now this is Doug, her mail carrier, he brought 2 boxes full of letters and packages from Postal Service, postal workers throughout the country who were so appreciative of Emerson's being thankful. And they started writing. So here are all letters for Emerson. They all were delivered to the Sioux Falls, South Dakota post office and then to Emerson. And now she started getting stamps. So she's now collecting stamps. People send her regular stamps, are sending her regular stamps so she continue writing. And then all these people started writing her letters about one said, "I work alone in a small rural post office. My kids live far away. Not a lot of people think about how hard we work." And then, so she's kept writing, and now she's just writing and writing all the time to all these people. And so her father goes on to tell us and has a message for all of us that I also want us to hear. The moral of the story is that it's the small things that matter the most. So we need to send letters, make calls, He also says practice self-care. Take a step of boldness for yourself or for others. And he says, thank your mail carrier from an appropriate distance. They're working extremely hard to keep us all connected. So I love this, and I really like the fact that we are reminded by this 11-year-old girl the importance of our mail carriers and of the US Postal Service and how grateful we are that we have them. So I want to encourage you, as your way of being patriotic today and supporting what Emerson's doing and also supporting your mail carrier, is, I'm going to go back to my screen for just a minute, go to this page where you can buy your own stamps. It's the USPS.com/store. I'll put the link down below in the comments. But you can buy your own stamps. So then you can either print them out or your postal mail carrier will put them in your box for you. So you can buy them online if you don't want to go to the post office, which is important in this time of social distancing. So there's some alternative ways that if you want to get stamps to make sure and write letters, you can. So I just really want to encourage you. Our BS for today is buy stamps. And think of all the people that you come into their lives through that little envelope and the excitement. Think how excited you are when you get an envelope to open, and do that for other people. And in the meantime, practice this as a way to support our Postal Service and thank our mail carriers for the great work that they do in sleet and rain and snow and hail and all sorts of weather. Thank you to our postal mail carriers, and thank you for buying stamps. And thank you for being part of BS with Becca today. I'll see you next time on our next episode of BS with Becca. Bye for now.